What's going on, everyone? I'm Not Bay, and welcome back to Smash Discussion. Smash Ultimate's meta is in a very interesting state, for better and for worse. While still fun to play and watch, character selections have become a lot more decisive at the top level. Given the game's emphasis on advantage state and defense, Ultimate's meta has evolved into a mix of touch-of-death demons and defensive walls that punish you for interacting. At the same time, we've also seen a drop in neutral-based characters that require multiple interactions to win. Which finally brings us to Mewtwo, a very polarizing character that is uncommon and pretty difficult to evaluate. Boasting a very good neutral and advantage state, Mewtwo's strengths line up surprisingly well with what is valued in today's meta. At the same time, his large body and poor defensive tools make him one of the most miserable characters when put in disadvantage. This video I wanted to cover my thoughts and opinions about Mewtwo in today's meta. Do his strengths and weaknesses translate to winning? And why isn't anyone playing him at the top level? Lots to unpack here, and it's been a while since I've given my opinions on the matter, so let's dive in. Starting with Mewtwo's strengths, as I think these are particularly interesting given today's competitive landscape. Many Mewtwo players, myself included, have spoken wonders about his exceptional neutral and advantage state, and I still think this holds true. Shadow Ball is still a neutral defining tool that leads to quick and easy combos, many of which can be optimized to consistently deal over 40%. The keyword here being consistently. Look, this is Smash Ultimate. Virtually every character has a 40% combo. But the fact that our boy gets multiple 40, 50% combos out of an aerial, down tilt, and Shadow Ball is really underappreciated. And the reason this matters is who specifically we're going up against. Top tiers like Sonic and Snake not only blow you up when they win neutral, but they are incredibly difficult to pin down. So when we do catch them, it's crucial that we make our combos count. And we see this in characters like Luigi and Olimar, characters with average or even subpar movement and neutral, but can decimate your stock the moment they get their hands on you. I'm not going to sit here and say Mewtwo has Luigi tier combo potential, but at the very least he's within swinging distance, which does matter. Combos aside, there's a lot about Mewtwo that is inherently valuable. Being top 10 in dash and run speed combined with the third highest airspeed is so good. Fast movement alone will always be valuable, but having enough speed to, say, catch characters like Sonic removes the risk of a timeout while also theoretically giving us the ability to camp ourselves, but that remains to be seen. And I don't think we appreciate how solid Mewtwo's moveset is. Aside from his grab range, which leads to a powerful set of throws, I genuinely don't think Mewtwo has a bad move. It's a kit that can combo with ease and perfectly scales into kill moves at high percent. Top it off with Shadow Ball as an all-purpose projectile, it's actually insane how good his moves are. Now, all of this being said, Mewtwo still has his share of weaknesses, ranging from relatively minimal problems to what can potentially be unredeemable as Ultimate's meta progresses. The big one to talk about is his hurt box, combined with his low weight. This isn't news to people. We've seen the memes, clips, and everything in between. The only top tier that has a similar size hurt box is Rob, and even with all the tools that make him broken, his size puts him in his place at times. Mewtwo has that kind of body, but a fraction of the weight. In all fairness, I do think people have slightly blown this out of proportion. It's not the worst disadvantage state in the game, but it's pretty freaking brutal and borderline demoralizing at times. What's worse is it spreads to the rest of his game plan though. Despite having an incredible advantage in neutral, this puts inherent stress on the player to maintain that advantage state since a single mistake will put them in their place. Mewtwo is the prime definition of a snowball character, and how you choose to interpret that is really up to whether you're in advantage state or not. On top of this, there are a few aspects about Mewtwo that make him feel very clunky when picking him up. His double jump being slow to the point where it's not even a good escape option is bad, his air acceleration is surprisingly poor, making his aerial movements very committal, his disjoints don't really act like disjoints, and heck, even the way he hard and soft lands after a fastfall is very difficult to time. It's a bunch of little things combined with a huge flaw that makes Mewtwo very difficult to pick up, let alone master. So where does this leave our boy in Smash Ultimate? I still think his strengths put him at a net positive in terms of power level. At the very least, I think he ranks much higher than he does on Luminosity's tier list. He is a super polarizing fighter that can feel like a top 10 character at his height and bottom 10 at his floor. In the hands of a skilled player, I think he exists in the top 10 state more often than not. And while some characters are reaching their competitive ceilings, Mewtwo is still scratching the surface of what he's truly capable of, which is why I think he does just fine in today's meta. People just have to believe in the character. And this brings us to the final question. Why is no one playing Mewtwo? I mean, if he has all these great qualities going for him and no one has picked him up, clearly that means he's bad, right? Now, before I go into why this is wrong, there is some validity in this statement. The good players will naturally play the best characters in the game, and Mewtwo definitely doesn't belong anywhere near the top tier. That being said, I think the main reason he's not played as much is the level of effort required to make him work. There's two different versions of Mewtwo. There's a version that spams Shadow Ball, Down Tilt, and Forward Air that is one of the easiest characters to play. It takes very little skill to perfect, but the ceiling is super low. But there's another version of Mewtwo with a very complex game plan that utilizes Mewtwo's entire kit that rivals characters in the upper mid, even high tier. But that Mewtwo is very difficult to play, requiring a lot of mechanical skill, knowledge of the character, and rock solid fundamentals. Reason I bring this up is I think most people who pick up Mewtwo try the complex version and just give up. And I don't say that as a knock to the top players who tried him out. Look, if you're trying to win a tournament, are you going to go with Mewtwo or a simpler yet much stronger character like Steve or Rob? Clearly there are better characters that require much less effort to succeed with. Plain and simple, Mewtwo is just not worth the energy. So, why do we play him? Because he's sick. I mean, come on, that's the whole reason we pick up a new character. He is one of the most unorthodox, flashiest characters in Ultimate. Even through the style and flair, I truly believe there is a good character with a lot more than meets the eye. Mewtwo may never make it to S tier status. Heck, he likely won't ever be A tier either. But he is damn better than what people give him credit for, which is why I think Mewtwo is a very viable character in the 2025 Smash Ultimate meta. But that's going to wrap things up for me. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it and learned something useful. What are your thoughts about Mewtwo? Do you think he's viable in today's meta? And to those who main a low to mid tier, what are your thoughts on your main? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to see who you're playing. Huge shoutouts to Mudskip, Leonidas, Venom, PGX, and Grisius for hopping on a call to talk about our boy. We may be cooking up a collaborative Mewtwo matchup chart. Let me know if you'd be interested in seeing that. But yeah, that's all I have for now, and I will see you all next time.